You've been watching my team crush targets for years. You've seen me build our department from nothing, train the new hires, and basically run the place while my boss took the credit. So when they announced Jason was getting the promotion I'd been promised for 2 years, my jaw hit the floor. Jason, the guy I hired and trained myself just 18 months ago. The guy who still asked me how to use our project management software last week. That Jason was now going to be my boss. I stood there in that conference room, trying to keep my face neutral while everyone congratulated him. I could feel the eyes on me, waiting for me to break. But I just smiled, shook his hand, and said, "Congratulations." Inside, though, I was already planning. Welcome to my channel where I share workplace stories that might just save your career or sanity. If this is your first time here, you're in for a treat with today's revenge tale. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next story. Trust me, you'll want to hear what happened after this one. So there I was, sitting at my desk, staring at the email from HR confirming Jason's promotion to Senior Project Manager. My promotion. The position I'd been working toward for 5 years. The position our VP had verbally promised me during my last 2 performance reviews. Just hang in there, Mark. Budget approval is coming soon. I'd been handling the most complex projects at Axis Software for years. Our company specialized in custom enterprise solutions for financial institutions, and I was the go-to person for the highest value clients. My portfolio was worth over $12 million in annual recurring revenue. Jason, on the other hand, handled the smaller accounts, the ones I specifically assigned him because they were straightforward. Don't get me wrong, he was smart and had potential. That's why I hired him. But he wasn't ready for senior level. Not even close. I took a deep breath and walked to my director's office. Sarah had always been straight with me, and I needed answers. "Do you have a minute?" I asked, closing her door behind me. Sarah looked uncomfortable immediately. She knew what this was about. "Mark, I know you're upset about Jason's promotion. The decision came from above me. I've been here for 5 years, Sarah. I've built half the processes we use. I trained Jason myself. What happened to the promotion I was promised?" She sighed, avoiding eye contact. The executive team wanted someone with an MBA for the role. Jason finished his last year. And there it was, the real reason. My decade of experience and consistent results couldn't compete with a fresh degree. Never mind that I'd been effectively doing the senior job already, without the title or compensation. "So what now?" I asked. "You'll report to Jason starting next Monday. I know it's awkward, but I'm hoping you'll help him transition into the role. He respects you a lot." I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. Then I got up and left her office. That weekend was rough. I updated my resume, browsed LinkedIn, and contemplated quitting on the spot. But with a mortgage and 2 kids in college, I couldn't afford to be without income for long. Besides, good jobs in our specialized field weren't easy to come by in our mid-sized city. Then, Sunday night, while I was fuming over a beer, the idea hit me. Why quit when I could give Jason exactly what he wanted? The full senior project manager experience, no holds barred. Monday morning came, and I arrived early as usual. I organized my files and prepared for the team meeting where Jason would officially take over. He showed up 15 minutes late, carrying a new leather portfolio with the company logo, a gift from the executive team, no doubt. "Hey everyone," Jason beamed as he entered the conference room. "Excited to get started in my new role. I want to thank Mark especially. I wouldn't be here without your mentorship, man." Several team members glanced at me sympathetically. Everyone knew I should have gotten this promotion. "Happy to help," I said, with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Actually, I have prepared some transition documents to get you up to speed on everything I've been handling. Jason looked relieved. That's great. I was hoping you'd help me get my feet under me. Of course, I replied. That's what team players do. After the meeting, Jason followed me to my desk, where I handed him a thick binder. This is just an overview of the major accounts and special projects I've been managing. His eyes widened as he flipped through the pages. This is a lot. Well, that's the senior role for you. But don't worry, I've been handling it all myself until now. Jason nodded, trying to look confident. No problem. I'm ready for the challenge. Great. The Preston financial audit response is due tomorrow. They're our biggest client, $3.2 million annual contract. Their compliance team found some discrepancies in our security documentation. The response needs to be perfect, or we risk losing them. Jason's smile faltered. Tomorrow? I didn't see that on the schedule. It's been on the senior manager's calendar for weeks. I can walk you through what I've gathered so far. For the next hour, I overwhelmed him with technical details, compliance requirements, and stakeholder politics that I'd been navigating effortlessly for years. Information I'd normally distill into manageable chunks for a new team member. One more thing, I added as he got up to leave, looking slightly dazed. The quarterly business review with Westfield Bank is Wednesday. They're expecting a detailed project plan for the new integration. I've got some notes I can share, but you'll need to prepare the presentation. Wednesday? But that's 2 days away, yes. These big clients expect senior leadership presence. I handled the last 6 QBRs myself, but now that you're in charge... I let the sentence hang there. Over the next few days, I continued my strategy. Every time Jason asked for help, I provided just enough information to sound cooperative while ensuring he understood the full, unfiltered complexity of what I'd been handling all along. The Mercer account needs special handling, I explained during our one-on-one. Their CTO has rejected the last 3 proposals because the language wasn't technical enough, but their CFO won't approve anything with too much jargon. I've been threading that needle for months. Jason scribbled notes frantically. How do you keep all this straight? I shrugged. Experience, I guess. Oh, and their legal team requires all documentation in their proprietary template, which changes quarterly. The new one should be coming any day now. By the end of the first week, Jason looked exhausted. He'd stayed late every night, missed lunch twice, and had already had one uncomfortable call with a dissatisfied client. On Friday, he stopped by my desk, dark circles under his eyes. Mark, can we talk? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with all these major accounts. That's normal, I assured him with fake sympathy. It took me years to get comfortable with this workload. Years? His face fell. Don't worry, you'll catch up. By the way, the executive team is expecting the quarterly forecast on Monday. You'll need to project revenue for all major accounts and justify any variance from previous estimates. I don't even know where to start with that, he admitted. I can point you to the files. It usually takes me a full weekend to prepare. I smiled helpfully. But hey, that's why you got the big promotion, right? The following Monday, Jason missed the forecast deadline. He'd tried his best, but without years of relationship context with each client, his projections were way off. The CFO sent a scathing email to the entire leadership team. In our team meeting that afternoon, Jason looked defeated. I think I need to restructure some of these account assignments, he announced. Mark, would you be willing to continue leading the Preston and Westfield accounts? I think your history with them is valuable. Happy to help the team, I replied. Whatever you think is best. By the end of the second week, Jason had effectively given back most of the strategic accounts to me. But now, there was a crucial difference. Everything had to go through him first. This created an additional approval layer that slowed down our processes and frustrated clients who were used to my quick responses. During the third week, things came to a head. The Preston Financial CIO called, furious about a delayed security update that had been stuck on Jason's desk for approval. "What's happening over there?" the CIO demanded when I answered. "We've never had these issues when you were running things, Mark. We're going through some organizational changes," I explained diplomatically. "I'll get this resolved immediately." I walked to Jason's office, where he was on a call while simultaneously trying to review 3 different documents. When he hung up, I said, "Preston is escalating the security update delay. It needs to go out today." Jason ran his hands through his hair. "I haven't had time to review it yet. There's just so much happening at once. Do you want me to handle it?" "Ha," I offered innocently. "Yes, please, just take care of it." He pushed the file toward me. "Actually, can you just handle all the Preston communications directly from now on? They seem to only want to talk to you anyway. If you think that's best." I took the file. "Should I update the team on the new arrangement?" "No, let's keep it between us for now. I don't want it to seem like I can't handle the role." And that's when I knew my plan was working perfectly. Jason was drowning, the clients were noticing, and he was creating a shadow organizational structure where I had the responsibility, but he maintained the title and salary. By week 4, Sarah called Jason into her office for a performance discussion. I could see them through the glass walls, her expression concerned, his defensive, then defeated. Later that afternoon, Sarah stopped by my desk. "Mark, can we talk privately?" In her office, she closed the door and sighed heavily. Things aren't going well with Jason's transition. I feigned surprise. "Really? I've been supporting him as much as I can." "I know, and he says you've been helpful, but the client complaints are piling up, and the executive team is concerned." She paused. "I need to ask you something directly. Are you intentionally making this difficult for him?" I met her gaze steadily. "I've given Jason complete access to all my processes, documentation, and client history. I've answered every question he's asked. I've taken on whatever he's asked me to handle. How is that making things difficult?" She studied me for a moment. "The workload you were carrying, was it really as extensive as what Jason is struggling with now?" "Yes," I said simply. "It was exactly that, for years." Sarah was quiet for a long moment. "I see. Is there anything else?" I asked. "No, that's all for now. Thank you for your honesty." The following Monday, I was called into a meeting with Sarah and the VP of Operations. My stomach tightened. Was this where they fired me for insubordination or sabotage? But when I entered the conference room, their expressions weren't angry. They looked apologetic. "Mark," the VP began, "we've been reviewing the department structure and performance over the past month. It's become apparent that we made an error in judgment with the recent leadership appointment." I said nothing, waiting. "Jason has submitted his resignation this morning," Sarah continued. "He's accepted a position back at his former company." I raised my eyebrows, genuinely surprised. I hadn't expected him to quit entirely. "We'd like to offer you the senior project manager position," the VP said, "with a compensation adjustment retroactive to the beginning of the quarter." I let the silence hang for a moment. "May I ask what changed?" The VP shifted uncomfortably. "We've realized that experience and proven performance are more valuable than we initially calculated. Your handling of the department during this transition has demonstrated your leadership capabilities beyond question." In other words, they'd seen exactly what I wanted them to see, the true scope of what I'd been handling all along, and Jason's inability to step into those shoes despite his fancy MBA. "I appreciate the offer," I said carefully. "I'd like some time to consider it." They looked surprised. They'd expected me to jump at the opportunity. "Of course," the VP said, "take the week to think about it." That evening, I received a call from Preston Financial's CIO. "Mark, I heard what happened. Your company nearly lost us as a client with that stunt they pulled. I appreciate your patience during the transition," I replied diplomatically. "Cut the corporate speak," he laughed. "Listen, we're expanding our internal project office and need a director. The position reports directly to me, comes with a significant salary increase, and you'd have authority to build your team from scratch. Interested?" I smiled. Very interested. 2 weeks later, I accepted Preston's offer and submitted my resignation to Axis Software. The look on the executive team's faces when they realized they were not only losing me, but also potentially their largest client was priceless. In my exit interview, the HR director asked if there was anything the company could have done differently to retain me. "You could have valued the work I was actually doing, rather than the credentials on someone's resume," I replied. Sometimes the most important work happens without anyone in leadership noticing, until that work stops getting done. On my last day, Jason's replacement, hired externally in a panic, asked if I'd be willing to do knowledge transfer sessions as a consultant. I quoted my new hourly rate, which was 3 times what they'd been paying me. They reluctantly agreed. I spent the next month documenting everything, properly this time, and training the new manager. I made sure the team I was leaving behind would be set up for success, because unlike executive leadership, I actually cared about my colleagues. It's been 6 months since I started my new role at Preston. I've built a team of talented people who are valued for their skills and contributions, not their degrees. 2 of my former team members from Axis have joined me, and we've created a department that consistently delivers results. As for Axis Software, I heard they lost 3 major clients after my departure and had to lay off 15% of their staff. Jason's replacement lasted 3 months before quitting. Sarah reached out recently to see if I'd consider coming back as a department director, but I politely declined. The lesson in all of this? Sometimes the best revenge isn't quitting dramatically or making a scene. Sometimes it's simply giving people exactly what they asked for and letting reality do the work for you. And that Preston financial security update that was stuck on Jason's desk, it's now a company-wide protocol that I developed and implemented across all our client systems, earning me a bonus and recognition from the executive team. I didn't have to sabotage Jason. I just had to stop protecting him from the reality of the job, the reality I'd been managing efficiently for years while making it look easy. Sometimes showing people exactly what you do every day is the most powerful statement you can make. If you've ever been passed over for a promotion you deserved, remember this: your value isn't determined by titles or other people's recognition. Keep track of your accomplishments, document your contributions, and know your worth. When the right opportunity comes, whether inside your current company or somewhere new, you'll be ready to prove exactly why you deserve it. Thanks for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, hit subscribe to hear more workplace experiences and lessons learned the hard way. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever been in a similar situation? What did you do? Remember, sometimes the best response isn't burning bridges, but building new ones that take you exactly where you deserve to go.